Welcome to Coffee with Viking. I am the Viking, and I hope you are all having a wonderful evening. I actually wound up getting the creator of the Reconciler getting in touch with me, and we've been talking a lot through Facebook, where he's actually started letting me know about everything that went into the project, or at least quite a bit, and about the low funding, the lack of script when it had to go from being a short film to feature length, and there's just a lot that I have learned just in the last couple of days. And so I went back and wound up rewatching it, knowing that, and this is a biggie right here, don't listen to the other guys' reviews when they call this a Saw knockoff or anything, because it didn't have anything Saw-like about it except the guys waking up in the abandoned warehouse. Other than that, which I have been informed that was never the intention to get a Saw feeling from that, but I learned where the real inspirations came from, which was a couple of Perfect Strangers episodes, and I went back and rewatched them earlier today too, and wound up seeing if I could catch where the inspiration came from. And honestly, I think I found them pretty quick. The first episode that inspired it was season 3, episode 18, which is where Balky handcuffs himself to Larry until Larry forgives him and stops being mad at him, which made me think of the dad who was in the army and his son who were cuffed together by this long chain. And I think I may have figured that one out right. I got a thumbs up on a comment on that one by the filmmaker. And the other one was season 5, episode 17, which is where Balky and Larry's girlfriends, who are also roommates, start to fight. So the guys lock them up in their apartment with them and won't let them leave until they start talking and start making up. So I think I figured out that's where the main plot of it came from, was from that episode, which made a lot more sense after seeing those, because there was no Jigsaw type character, there was no traps, and nobody was really in any danger in that movie, and we all know how Saw went. So I think that was my mistake the first time I watched the movie, was I was trying to find the comparisons to Saw, and even I couldn't find them. But it makes perfect sense after seeing those Perfect Strangers episodes that he sent me the link to, and being able to compare them. And there's so much more that I have learned, but there's something that I really learned I don't want to bring up because I figure whenever we get together and set up the interview, I will let them tell you the biggie that really made me want to give it a second chance. And it was what he told me was it was sad. It was a tragedy that really made me want to give it a second look, and this time without the whole what the other guys in the other reviews said before I even looked for trying to find it. But there's actually a lot more, and I mean what I said in the last review, I mean I'm still standing by some of it, but the boring part, when you're not looking to compare something that isn't there and you actually focus more on it, yeah, there might be a few scenes here and there that might bore you, but that's every movie. I don't care how big it is or small. But I still say that a lot of the acting could have been better. But as far as what I said about the writing, I learned something about that too, and I ain't gonna give another opinion on that, knowing that they were said to turn that into a full-length film that, I mean, to get it recorded, they would have to make it full-length, and they only had a short script and had to run on that and kind of find ways of stretching it out to make it full-length, so I actually respect that. And I'm hoping that whenever I get a chance to talk to both of the guys, that I'll find out how on a $5,000 budget, which I can also respect because for a movie that's not much. I'd like to know how they got the Roddy Piper cameo. My guess is that maybe he volunteered his time because I know he became a Christian in the end of his days. And he started doing a lot of Christian-based projects, so I'm thinking maybe it was a volunteer to help them out, but maybe they made a deal, but we'll find out. But do I still put this movie in a high recommendation based on what I recently learned? I would recommend giving it a second watch, but I still wouldn't put it up in my favorites, but I would still recommend maybe a second thought if you didn't like, a second watch if you didn't like it the first time. But it depends on what kind of movie you're into as well. I mean, I can give you my opinions, but if it's not your cup of tea, you're not going to want to watch things that I bring up anyway. Because I do watch a lot of Christian-based stuff, and if you're not into that, then no, I wouldn't recommend it because it is a Christian film. If you're not into low budget, then I wouldn't recommend it. But if you like low budget or Christian or both, then I'd say, yeah, give it a watch. But truth be told, I think the acting will improve with time with these people, and they they actually do have other projects coming out. They have one called Lucifer and the Father, which they got the first episode on YouTube. I watched it. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was great. And there's 5 more that they're trying to get funding for. It's going to be a short series of 6. And I recommend checking that out too. It's called Lucifer and the Father, and it's Lucifer and God having a conversation in the first episode. And I actually thought the 2 guys did a great job. And in the Reconciler, the guy that played Ed is the one that plays the devil in Lucifer and the Father. Which, by the way, Scott, I thought you did great there. I loved when the eyes went bright red and sizzled. That was an awesome effect. So, hope you keep that up, and hopefully we can get more episodes out, because I definitely want to see how this continues on. But I just wanted to get this video out to let you know that if you want to give the Reconciler another shot, it's really not the Christian version of Saul, like the reviews kept saying, and like was in my head when I first watched it. And getting to learn more about how they made it, all the hardships they faced to get the project done, I actually hold a newfound respect for what they went through. And I mean, it's not going to be a big movie that I'm going to push or anything, but I probably will be trying to push the Lucifer and the Father thing, because I think y'all might enjoy that too. They actually did really great on that one, and hopefully we can see more in the future. I love you all. Stay blessed, stay caffeinated, and have a wonderful evening.